It is in this cabinet in the Institute of Contemporary History in Munich that the original editions of Mein Kampf are kept under lock and key. It's called the Poison Cupboard. For 70 years, the publication of the National Socialist Manifesto, the only book ever written by Hitler, was prohibited by the authorities. But on January 1st, Mein Kampf has entered the public domain once again. These historians have taken the lead. They've been working on a critical edition that explains the historic context of the book for more than 2 years.
The comments add context and explain who's who, just as in any critical edition. But they're also there to interrupt Hitler's narrative. We highlight the fact that Hitler was a demagogue who spread falsehoods, half-truths, and flat-out lies in his texts. And finally, these comments show what happened with his ideology after 1933, once the National Socialist regime was in place.
Because Mein Kampf is considered to be the roadmap of National Socialism. In 1923, after an attempted putsch, Hitler was imprisoned for 9 months in Bavaria's Landsberg prison. It was here that he began to jot down his ideas on National Socialism, 10 years before he came to power. 12 million copies were published up until 1945. For the historian Wolfgang Benz, Mein Kampf really came into its own during the Third Reich.
This book first rose to significance when Hitler was Chancellor of the Reich, because he had the power to boost distribution. Now, with hindsight, people convince themselves that if they had read it more thoroughly, they would have known about its evil message.
Since then, first editions of Mein Kampf continue to circulate. It can be purchased from antique dealers on the net. It is also available in a digital version. But does this 80-year-old text pose a new threat? This specialist on the extreme right reads an excerpt.
He writes, "Cats cannot have friendships with mice," and this is the type of argument he used to found his racial theory.
He believes Mein Kampf now only plays a marginal role in neo-Nazi circles.
There are groups who still reference it, for whom it has become a standard work, like the Bible, from which one reads and teaches. But there are many groups who don't refer to it because it is difficult to read and the comparisons are difficult to make.
The text is certainly dated, but the symbolic strength of the book remains real. The publication of the critical edition of Mein Kampf has caused outrage within the Jewish community. Rabbi Yehuda Teichtel insists that this book should be banned for as long as Holocaust survivors are still alive.
Stellen Sie sich vor, Menschen, die mussten miterleben, den Tod, den Mord.
Just think about those people who viewed death and murder firsthand, and now they hear that this book, full of lies and hatred, is being republished.
Sehen, dass es wieder veröffentlicht wird.
It is disrespectful.
Gegenüber die Überlebenden.
The authorities have taken note. The state of Bavaria owned the copyright to Mein Kampf until now. They warn that anyone who attempts to publish this work for exclusively commercial purposes will be subject to a criminal investigation for incitement to hatred.